say you hi there. This is Kate, your professional personal lecturer, Doctor of Science, Professor at the Simon Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics. Welcome. Today we will know why do we behave this way or that way. Why do we choose something? What are the reasons of our acts, activity and behavior? We wonder why we change our mind. Why are some people stubborn or purposeful while others refuse their goals easily? Currently, we will study the difference between motives and needs, also the main approaches and theories which explain reasons for our behavior or motivation. As it is said, an action causes an habit, and a habit causes the character, and a character causes the destiny. Thus, let's know the roots of our destiny, our motivation. Key item. What is motivation? First of all, motivation is a driving force by which humans achieve their goals. When you hear words and expressions, provocation, impulse, prompting, urge, they all mean motivation for action. I would like to suggest you also the word an art. And to perceive motivation as the art of inducement, the art of giving someone a reason for doing something. And like any art, motivation is exciting when it's creative and harmonic. Next, a very important thing to keep in mind is that motivation is a process that stimulates energy in people to be continually interested in a subject or to desire to attain a goal. Every process has stages. There are main stages of motivation: a need, a motive, a goal and behavior. Please look at the screen and pay attention that there are two initial stages, needs and interests. I highlighted and combined them because I would like to separate drives connected with social aspects. Civilization as stimuli versus our personal inner needs. As you can see, there are two motives on the scheme, because motive is an internal factor inside us that explains our behavior. That is why we have to take into account that our inner dialogue always contains explanation of our inner need. Why do we need something? And explanation of why should we achieve this. For example, our need, hungry, can create the goal to cook something or to go to the cafe. First motive will explain us why I have to eat in general. So, why do I need to eat? Because of my health, or maybe to cheer up the mood, to eat something sweet. The second motive will explain why did I choose to cook at home. Because it is raining outside or it is very expensive and I just do not have enough time maybe. Thus, motive is a reason for a person's actions, something conscious that prompts or excites us. It is important to remember that motive is an explanation, correlated always with the question why. To conclude, I would like to add that the origin of the terms motivation and motive is from Latin, movere. It means move. What is need? A need is a narrow biochemical, psychological state, which occurs because of necessity in something. Also, it is selective dependence of the organism on certain factors of the external or internal environment. And what types of factors may cause motivation. There are several approaches. I would like to tell you the most widely known. The older of the theories holds that motivation centers on physical or psychological states resulting from lack of discomfort. Drive reduction theory or drive theory. William McDougall proposed an instinctive theory of behavior. An instinct is an unlearned species-specific response pattern, usually keyed by a specific stimulus. All human behavior resulted from inherited and innate tendencies from nature. There are two groups of innate tendencies. In the first group are those necessary for survival: hungry, thirst, fatigue, the need for air and appropriate temperature, and the need to eliminate body wastes. They are also called homeostasis. Homeostasis is a tendency of an organism to maintain physiological systems in a steady state. Other unlearned motivations, such as pain avoidance and drives arising from curiosity, are less critical to survival. Sex is partially learned motivation, but adequate sexual motivation is necessary for the survival of species. Incentive theory and sexuality. Incentive theory provides a somewhat better model of sexual motivation. Organisms often show high goal specificity in choosing among sexually related goals. We each have individual interests in sexual partners. We each differ in what situations, books, pictures, sounds, touches, or scents we find arising. Biological systems do regulate sexual motivation. Sexual hormones interact with structures in the brain. Sexual behavior often depends as much on the cognitive activities as it does on the healthy flow of hormones through the bloodstream. There are also a large number of cognitive theories that relate to motivation and explain how our way of thinking and perceiving ourselves and the world around us can influence our motives. For example, reactant theory or learned helplessness theory, self-concept, mastery beliefs, attributions, or self-efficacy. Deliberative versus implementation mindsets. Expectancy, perceived control, promotion versus prevention orientations. Plans, implementation intentions, dissonance, self-regulation, values, goals, growth versus fixed mindsets. Possible selves, identity, self-control. There is a group of theories, Maslow's theory of the hierarchy of needs, Alderfer's ERG theory, McClelland's achievement motivation theory, and Herbert's two-factor theory, focused on what motivates people and addressed specific factors like individual needs and goals. I would like to make you acquainted with Theory of Needs by Simonov. Okay, needs, according to Simonov, are divided into biological needs as vital, vitally necessary, zoosocial, species interaction, self-development. They are directed into the future. For example, in details, vital, vitally necessary. There are food and drink, very important for us. Passive defense as fear and anxiety. Also active defense, our aggression. Homeostatic, breath, blood, sleeping. Forced economy, reflex of laziness. Grooming, taking care about body. Next group, zoosocial. Species interaction. There are our sexual behavior, our maternal-parental behavior, our children's behavior to desire to contact parents, territorial behavior, protection against overpopulation, hierarchical behavior, the need for leadership and submission, empathy and transfer of other people's emotions to oneself, and ability to understand emotions. The third group, self-development needs. They are directed into the future. Research, curiosity, getting new information. Need of imitation. To do as neighbor, as leader, as parent. Reflex of freedom, overcoming the limitation. And the game, need to play, training of motor skills. Also, starting from studies involving more than 6,000 people, Professor Stephen Rice has proposed a theory that found 16 basic desires that guide nearly all human behavior. The 16 basic desires that motivate our actions and define our personalities there are. First, very important need of acceptance. The need for approval. Next, it is curiosity, the need to learn, to know something new. Eating, of course, is important, the need for food, very often tasty one. Family, the need to raise children. Honor, the need to be loyal to the traditional values of one's clan ethnic group. Idealism, the need for social justice. Independence, the need for individuality. Order, the need for organized, stable, predictable environments. Physical activity, the need for exercise. Power, the need for influence of will. Romance, the need for sex. Saving, the need to collect. Social contact, the need for friends, peer relationships. Status need, this is the need for social standing and importance. Tranquility, the need to be safe. Vengeance, the need to strike back or to win. And another classification, needs can be divided into primary, physiology, bonds, and secondary, socially, psychological acquired. Next classification divides needs into material, meal, clothes, habitation, spiritual, intercourse, information exchange, persecution of itself, and the social status, authority, role in society. And what we will study next? How to motivate ourselves, how to inspire others, how to distinguish right motives and harmful drives. See you later on our sessions devoted to the motivation.